Yes.
Yes, so today basically we have Meeta Chaudhary who is going to be speaking about building leadership skills as an entrepreneur. She's been a social entrepreneur and also like a holistic coach, and she's going to be sharing her experiences. And we also have Prasad here who is going to be speaking about collaborative tools which we use for remote work. So the first half is going to be led by Meeta, and then the second half is by Prasad. So let's start.
Hi, everyone. I must say that, being with all of you is already making me feel very young. I don't even remember when I left college, but thank you for making me feel young, and I don't mind it at all. So, in fact, I think when Surbi spoke to me, I said, my God, why should I not do more of these kind of sessions? So, I was very excited to put some things together, and I hope it makes sense to you all. So, like you folks, I too am a student. Perhaps not a college student. I haven't enrolled in any of the universities as yet, but something to that effect. I like to think myself as a student of life, you know, and much like all of you in school, life teaches me new lessons every day. Not always new lessons, sometimes they are the same old lessons all over again. Like it tells me that, hey, you know what, Meeta, stop looking at your phone and pay more attention to yourself. Simple things like that. So on good days, I listen to that voice, and on better days, I actually do something about it. And I think that is the great thing about change. It only really happens in increments. So today, you all are secure, under the wings of your parents, family, teachers, both of whom will guide you and sometimes, pull you in different directions. In all this chaos, confusion, here is what I would like you all to remember. You all are all young adults. Don't forget yourself, and don't forget what you want to do. Many people may give you many suggestions. Even right now, if you all have enrolled in certain subjects, don't lose the spirit of you yourself, subject that you chose. So don't let other people push you into doing something that they want you to do. So somewhere along the way, our dreams get confused for our ambitions, and our ambitions to be successful, or rather to be someone else's idea of successful. Uh, and that's not how you become a good leader or a leader. So today I'm going to talk about this leadership. In fact, there is no one definition of leadership that I can tell, you know. So there are multiple facets to being a leader. So your ability to lead is not contingent on how much money you will make or the position you're going to hold. Your ability to lead is not contingent on how much fear you strike in the hearts and the minds of your peers or subordinates. Leading, you will see, is a test of character. Now, in this lifetime of yours, mine, you will be tested many times, and you will fail. You may fail repeatedly, and it is for sure that this experience of failing will show itself in everybody's life. So you may not get that promotion sometimes at work. You may not be getting the grade A in your class. And yes, you won't be getting that guy or girl, you whom you have been eyeing for a while. So All these are possibilities, and you will fail. That's for granted. So, what happens? The good news is actually progress. So, as youngsters, I can tell you, because these things were not told to us or me. So, we take failures very deeply. It hurts us, it teaches us many things. But failure, you will see, and you should remember as a student that it is a doorstep to success. It's not something that you should brood about. It is not something that should make you feel not yourself. Failure is your biggest teacher, and you should remember what you are learning from this failure. All these experiences that you will have, it should change you inwardly. It should change you as a human being, as a person, you know. Only then you can impact other people, right? So it is your responsibility to value, respect, and retain your sense of morality when you're dealing with others. And most importantly, yourself. Now, as you can tell by now, I was not really a class topper. So it's quite strange that, I'm talking to all you guys who are doing so well in your life right now. I'm very impressed with Surbi. I'm sure a lot of other people who are doing great stuff as students. I was not exposed to all that. So when I was growing up and I was in college, I was told that, you better go and do your MBA. But why you want to do an MBA? Because you get a better job, right? You get a better salary if you do MBA, all those things. I'm sure your folks will tell you the same thing. But you know what? I didn't get that MBA. So not only did I kickstart my career, I think I kicked ass. So all my learnings came from my job. So my job was my passion, and it taught me everything that I had to learn to become a leader. So I started two multinational companies in India, worked through it right from zero to the stature that it is right now. So it was lots of learnings, and it wasn't easy, right? So it won't be easy for anyone. But there are many learnings that happened. Okay. So education will help you, to structure things, think it through, plan it well, execute it well, but not necessarily is going to teach you how you can become a better human being. And I think that was very important for me, you know. A trustworthy leader, a compassionate leader, or a thoughtful leader, or a conscious leader, these are all essences of a good leader. So each one of you will find your own essence, the way you want to be seen as a leader. A leader who can stand tall in this whole chaos called life is a successful leader. How can you stand tall? Only when you think clearly of the larger good of humanity. So it's never going to be only one person's good. That's not a leader. It will not sustain itself. So anything that you do, a leader does not mean that you're holding that position of a CEO or a director or a chairperson. You can be leader in anything that you are doing. So not about the designations, right? So if you're a good human being and you have other people's goodness in your planning, in your work, that will take you a long, long way. You stand tall by respecting yourself and others equally. So you must know that. that to lead yourself, you have to lead yourself first before you can lead anyone else. And you don't have to be anyone else. You don't have to be under anybody else's shadow, because you are your own light. You have your own ways. You are different, even from your own siblings, even from your own parents. So you are not the same. You don't have to ape anybody else's success. So when you do that, when you know, most important thing as an entrepreneurial leader or any kind of leader, you need to know that what is it that I want to do? What is it that will make me happy? What is it that, I will be able to explore? So make sure that you don't see somebody else's success and that's why you want to do it. A lot of it is happening right now. Everybody is trying to see that, oh my God, this person has made so much of money, so I can also do that. So shine in your own light. That is how you will stand separate, tall in this whole chaos in your lives. So there is no one way to lead. So one has to make your own moves, make your own waves, make your own way, and lead from the heart. Don't live in the fear of failure. If you don't fit in, then be a misfit. Fitting is anyway overrated. And in today's time, I think it is even more. So thank you, everyone. I made some quick points for all of you, and go shine. Are there any questions I can take now, or is there anybody else who wants to ask something?
Thank you so much. That was really, really good. And it was so informative, and some of the very, curious, some questions which I'm very curious about, they were highlighted. So I feel that the way you were mentioning that to be a leader, you don't need to have the designation. So how do you uh, come out of
Yeah.
that, like when you're early in your early 20s, and especially when you are our age, we are always kind of like looking at doing our best, but also, people do look at the titles sometimes, they would want to kind of like go for the title. So how do we change our mindset to let go of that mindset and kind of come up with the fact that you need to lead in any role which you have and do your best rather than chasing something which is not there at the moment?
Right. Uh, yeah, but Surbhi, you will see when you all step out into, yeah, jobs that you all will go into, you will see that you will be recognized for the quality of work that you are doing. People will see your honesty, at work. People will see how hardworking you are. People will relate to you on your deliverables. People will not relate to you whether, you are a vice president in that company or you have suddenly become a senior manager in a short span of time. You see, but people will see to it. Any senior management is going to look at the deliverables that you do. So you must pay attention to the work you do and the kind of clarity you may have for your role, because you grow gradually. You can't grow suddenly into a position and then start fighting fire. So you will learn, but the intention of the work will be seen by your subordinates, by your seniors. So I think the work will speak for you. It's not about the position, and I think people should not look at position because they're all transitory.
True.
Today you are senior vice president in one company, and in the other company which is larger, you may be a senior manager. So but your work will take you places.
Yes, I completely agree with that because I've seen it with my own. I'm doing an internship right now, so I've seen it in the own company. That there are people who, even though they don't have the position of a manager, they would still act like that. They would still, take ownership
Right.
of tasks. They would still manage interns, or they would manage people. They would lead tasks. And I've seen that. I get really inspired
Correct.
by that. And I try and do my best every single day. And I feel that is really important when you're working in an organization. Um, I think we
Absolutely.
have another question here.
Absolutely. Your
I
character
think we
comes
have a
out.
question by Adi. So Adi is asking, is there any advice for individuals who want to start their own venture?
Yes, I think people who want to start their own venture should be very clear as to what they want to start is aligned with their selves.
Yeah.
They must be sure about what they really want to become, you know. So a lot of us first see the money coming in, but I think it's more about what makes you feel good about doing that work, you know. So most importantly, figure out what really kicks inside you, what makes you feel very fulfilled, you feel joyous about doing that work, you know. Some people can be creative people, some people can be very good in marketing, some people can be very good in communication. So find that niche, you know. You have to, because each one of us are very individual. Like, I'm not a creative person, right? Somebody else is creative. So you have to find your own place where you feel confident. And you know, education is one part of our lives, it's not our lives. So it just, education will just help you. It's like a guide, but finally you have to go out and lead it. So when you're collaborating, you know, when people go and do their own work like an entrepreneur, you got to collaborate with yourself first. You know, you got to hear the voice, you know, you got to hear the voice of what makes you feel good. Your thoughts is what will make you take that action. So where are these thoughts coming from? Is it coming from the books you have read, or is it something you really want to do? Is it coming from a place of you know, happiness? It gives you joy to think about that work, right? So today you all can make those decisions. You know, in our age we used to just finish our graduation, get a job that comes your way, and you make that job as your you know, passion for everything. You want to hold on to it. But today's youngsters, you know, whether it is Adi, you, anyone, that age group is looking for a lot of entrepreneurship, you know. And I think it's a freedom to think, it's a freedom that you make that choice. You fail, it's all right, but make sure you think it through, even in that failure. So first figure out what you really want to do, and then you take that step. And if it fails, then you relearn. Okay. So what one has to do is that at the moment, I always tell everyone, whether it is my age, your age, I say that we learn something in schools and colleges. When we go out and work, we again unlearn, and then we start relearning again. I think that's the cycle you have to keep in mind. Being an entrepreneur, you want to do something on your yourself, do it. But just don't do it because somebody else is asking you to do it. So listen to the voice of what you want to do.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, and especially about the failure part, because uh, I mean, you can fail a venture, you can lose so much of investor money, and there can so many things which could
Absolutely.
happen, but that shouldn't stop you from doing it, and people shouldn't stop you from doing something. Like there would be so many people who would say that, why are you doing this? Why are you running something? But I think we should just not focus on other people, and we could focus on why we want to pursue something, and why we want to make things happen the way we want to.
True.
So I think that makes a lot of sense,
True.
and if anybody else
True.
has any questions, please let us know. How can we like minded? I how to can I can't understand that question. Art, can you please repeat that?
Yeah, like how can you find like-minded people? That means
Okay.
supposingly if we are just working for a venture, so definitely we will be needing a team who can help us out so that we can grow. So like how to find those people?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and it's a very good question. Always, the core values have to match with whoever you are going to do the ventures with. So once your core value is, designed, you will have to then make other people or take other people on board what is not your strength. For example, if you're not good in accounts, you need somebody who's very good in accounts. If you're into a creative line of business, you need to know that, okay, I'm not creative, but I know how to market it. So, whatever is your weakness, maybe somebody else's strength it is. So, that's how you kind of build a team. It happens in organizations as well. Like a CEO is not working all alone, right? He has a team of people. Somebody is good in finance, somebody is good in sales, somebody is good in marketing, somebody is good in IT. But you should have certain ground rules. And the ground rules should be based on the value system that you put in. See, everybody in that entrepreneurship cannot be a leader. There should be one person who finally takes a decision. It can be a collaborative decision if it is for the larger good of the organization. It can be for the larger good of your stakeholders. Your stakeholders can be your customers, right? So that's what you have to think about. That randomly you should not get people, you should get people whose mindset, thinking, value systems are on the same platform. Otherwise, there will be a lot of disharmony.
That's true. I feel that I can also add to that. The thing is that I think the most hard part of starting something is to actually start. I feel people just come in, once you start something, people would start joining you. You wouldn't even realize that you started from scratch with nothing and there are 10 people in your team already. So I think even with this, we didn't have any people when we started. So I think it's more about just having something to start, and then once you start, you already kind of know your
Yeah.
base, you have a vision that I want to do this, then people start kind of coming up, and then all you need to do is select the best people. And if you are selecting a co-founder, I think you should be very sure that they are right, because a lot of things can happen. So I think it's really, really important to value that relationship properly, that you would be equal and you would have equal rights, kind of a thing. So making sure that you have the right partner if you're starting together is very important. If you're starting by yourself, I think that is much more easier than starting with a co-founder. I felt that it's harder because then you can face a lot of challenges, a lot of disharmony can happen, and there might be so many times when you're not on the same
Yeah.
page. What would you think about this actually? Like, what do you think? Is it easier to start with a co founder, or is it easier to start by yourself?
The
Yeah,
question
to
is to
you
who?
actually. Like, I wanted to ask, what do you think that would it be easier to start a
Oh,
venture by yourself or with a co founder?
actually, it depends. You can't be alone in doing what you are doing. It's always good, as I said, to start with some people who have the same
Yes.
mindsets, who have the same skills, or your complementing skills. But the base of that relationship has to be
Yes.
trustworthy.
Yes.
If both of you are coming together and you all believe in that particular venture, sometimes we have seen the ventures don't work out because the owners or the partners, they think very differently about the project. So there are ventures which are very successful if they are doing on their own, and you have your own team, but decision making power is with you. And there are ventures which two partners, three partners are doing very well as well. So there are always, some have worked very well, some have not worked very
Yeah.
well. So it all depends on what kind of venture, you know. If it's
True.
people centric, then you will have to, hire more people. But yeah,
Yeah.
decision making is, I have seen it's very confusing when there are more points
Yeah.
of leadership.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
when
that's where your collaborative skills come.
Yeah, I think when two people are trying to lead the same thing, it's a lot of things are involved. I feel that if you
Yeah,
are leading something, you know that your vision is clear. You know, you'll be like, okay, I have to do this, and these are my plans. But I
yes,
think if two people are involved, it can diverge a little bit. For some people, yes,
yeah,
like it makes sense because then you
yes,
get so many inputs. But I think for some people, it doesn't. So it really depends on who you are involving.
yeah, it
Yeah, I
depends.
think you should give it a little bit time before
That's
you
true.
invite a co-founder. Like you should know them for months and you should know them in and out and then involve them in a future. I
Yes,
guess that's really important. I think we have a few other questions and then we can start with the
right,
next talk. So yeah, I think we have what if we are
sure.
not able to figure out our future goals, like doing graduation in one field for the time interested in the other field? Yeah, I think this is a very common question. Like, when we are in this age and we are so full of energy, like we want to do so many things. That's my case. I would want to do so many things that people feel that
You
I
want
have it figured
to
out,
the
but I
world.
don't. Like, I don't know anything. I'm just lost. So, how do we figure out what we really want to do? I mean, as a future goal.
Um, I think life kind of unfolds. Okay. Uh, you may keep changing your track. Today you like something, tomorrow you may not like something. You can drop it, start something new. Nobody's telling you this is the end of it, right? But it helps the individual to know what makes that person happy. What happens sometimes at my age, I can now look back and say that, if I didn't do my job, what would I do? So I would have got lost because I never specialized in something. Like if you're a doctor, you know what you're doing, but you can always have a passion, right? So try to dig into the passion that you have,
Yeah.
because that's what is going to keep you alive. That's what will drive you. Your passion must be looked into deeply. That's where your connect would be. You will enjoy when you do something which is your passion. So at the moment, you may be feeling very lost which direction I go. Do I study further? Do I do this course more? Whether that will affect me, impact me. Most importantly, I think what will impact you is to figure out where your heart lies, where your passion lies. Then you can take that direction. And I think finally life will open up in front of you, and you will make certain decisions. Don't be scared of taking those decisions, because it will only lead you further. And give it some time and be honest to yourself that whether you are really enjoying this or not. If you're not enjoying it, that means okay, then I need to think of something new. It's all right. So don't start blaming yourself. You can be lost right now, but just go with what your heart is telling you to do. Feel what
Yeah.
makes you feel good about. That's very important. Very important.
Yeah, that's really true. And I think one more thing which comes here is that many people want to take the route of entrepreneurship, but when it comes to leaving everything, like leaving the space safe spot, like leaving your job or your master's program or something, and just starting something. Like if I were to leave everything and just do this, I would also feel a bit scared of making it financially sustainable or sustaining myself. So how do we take that leap of faith and just kind of like do it, like leave everything and do one thing? Do you think that is the right decision to make, or how do we do it, like to make it financially sustainable and just leave everything and do that one thing?
um, I I am a big believer of heart and feelings, the right feeling, the gut, as we say. So I think if you want to chuck everything and go and start your entrepreneurship, you must have faith in that. You must put the energy of trust in that. You can think through everything, but there will be something that you may have missed. Okay, it may not work. Maybe it works right now. Maybe your entrepreneurship is going to work for the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Maybe by the time it's the fifth year, you don't see it grow anymore. So, I think entrepreneurship is all about the trust that you have in yourself, in your thinking, trust in your skills, trust in what you're thinking for actions. All those things are very, very personal. And that's the reason that every person is so different from the other. You should take the risks. You should think about that. Money is a byproduct of the work that you will do. So you may not get the same kind of salary that maybe you're getting right now, but it will come maybe in 6 months' time, 8 months' time. It should come. So I think if you are very passionate about your thought, you should try it out and give it a full 100%, of whatever you got. Just be there. And because it's like an extension of you. So when your work, your passion, your dreams are all aligned in one, then it is not like a job. Then you will enjoy it. That's not work anymore. It's joyful ride. You will enjoy that ride. So I think somewhere people think of money first, or they think of too intellectual thing, and they keep thinking and not taking this action.
True.
And as I said, it's absolutely all right to fail as long as you don't fail in your own eyes. Do not fail in your own eyes. Don't damn yourselves. Okay? You experimented with something, it did not work, it's okay. Take the next step. So, money, many a times we calculate the money on the board before we start planning. We make those 3 years plan, 5 years plan. They're all done in the classroom and on the boards. But when you physically start doing that work, you will find certain hurdles that will come, some lack will happen. There will be some days where you will feel really bad about it. You may even start doubting yourself, and that is not correct. It was your thought, it was your plan. You may have skipped some thoughts. You may have skipped certain things that you have not planned in the whole planning. Okay, you can correct it. Life does not stop. It only teaches you to take the very next step. It takes you, when you fail, they say that when you fail is when you learn the lessons of your life, and it actually helps us to learn what perseverance is. It helps us to think again. It gives us good ideas, new ideas. All right. So when you fail in entrepreneurship, doesn't matter. Just learn what you learned and then step out and be yourself.
Yeah, that's a lot of insights actually. It gives a lot of shadow on what we can do and what we could experiment with. I feel that you should experiment with as much as you can. Like try and see what you're best at. Like why do you want to hold yourself back? Try to make the most of your
Right.
time and try to like experiment with as many things as you can to find what you're passionate about, because then only you will find what brings you joy, and that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. And I really enjoyed the session, so
Yes.
thank you so much. And I think now we can move on to Prasad. We
So did
can
I.
just start the session with Prasad, so I'll hand it over to you now if you want to start. And thank you so much, Mrs. Meeta. I really enjoyed the session.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it was a wonderful session. Thanks a lot, Meeta ma'am. Your tips will be definitely helpful for everyone out here in their career. And so yeah, let's start with today's session. Let me share my slides.
Sure. Wait, just a second. I think I'll just start recording yours separately because
Okay.